Here's Brene's audience for her video, her speech. And here we go.
Hi guys, my name is Brene and today we're going to be making cream of wheat. So to start out, we're going to go ahead and pour 1 cup of water into our bowl and turn our pan onto high so that the water can come to a boil. While we're waiting for it to come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what we're going to need to make this cream of wheat. You'll need the cream of wheat that we normally like to store in the fridge because it keeps it good. And you'll need your cup of water that we already used, a spoon so that you can stir in the cream of wheat once we get to that point after the water comes to a boil. I have a tablespoon and a bowl to put our food in whenever we get done. I'm going to go ahead and get the milk out, which is what we're going to use after we're done, and I'll show you guys how we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and get our sugar out because we'll also use that whenever we're done. And I'm going to go ahead and get us some bread out to make us some toast, because for breakfast a lot of people like to have toast with their meals, and cream of wheat is a great one to add that to. So we're going to get out a piece of bread, go ahead and stick it in the toaster, and we'll put it down whenever we're about halfway through so that it'll be warm. Put this back on the bread. We're going to go ahead and get the butter out too so that it can start softening up so that it's not so hard to spread onto our toast. Get a knife out while we're at it. Our water should be to a boil in just a minute. It takes about two minutes for our water to come to a boil. So while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and get out 3 tablespoons of our cream of wheat. And I'm just going to pour it into this bowl, or this little measuring cup, because it just makes it easier. Looks like it's getting a little boily. Alright. Go ahead and clean up our mess and throw it in the sink over here. Alright, now it looks like we're ready to start making our cream of wheat. So you're going to want to pour the cream of wheat in very slowly. You don't want it to get lumpy, and that's what will happen if you pour it in real quick. We're going to leave it on high so that the water's still boiling. As you stir in the cream of wheat, you won't be able to see the boils, but it is still on high. Shouldn't take us too long. The more you stir it, the thicker it's going to be. So we're going to keep stirring. We almost got all of it in. When it has lumps, it's really just not any good. So you just want to pour it in slowly. Just take your time with it. So there we go. I'm going to set that down. We're going to let the cream of wheat come back up to a boil after we're already done pouring in all of our cream of wheat. So now that it's come back to a boil, we're going to let it simmer for about 1.5 minutes. We'll go ahead and turn that down to a simmer. I'm going to set my timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds. You're going to want to continue to stir it just to make sure that there's not any lumps in it. You don't want it to stick to the pan and burn in one spot. Wouldn't be any good. We're going to put our bread down and make some toast. Cream of wheat is very good for breakfast. With my pregnancy, I've craved a lot of cream of wheat. It's very light on your stomach, and it's a decently healthy meal. Maybe not after we put all of our sugar in it, whenever we get done, but it's still pretty healthy. We got about 40 seconds left to continue stirring it. And if you look at it, you can tell that it's getting very thick. getting thicker as we stir it more. And you want it to be a decent thickness. If you put in too much water in the beginning, it says on the box that you can put in 1 cup to 1 1/4 cup. If you put in 1 1/4 cups, it'll probably be a little too watery, especially because I like to add milk to mine whenever it's done. And the water just makes it too watery after you add the milk and everything. Alright, so now it looks like we're all done. We're going to go ahead and turn our fire off. And get our bowl over here. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into our bowl. I only made 1 serving, so it'll just be enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and get another spoon out. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys about how much milk I like to put in there. Not too much, you just want to, the milk will really kind of cool it down, so whenever you're ready to eat. Kind of stir that in there. You don't want it to be quite as thick, you want to kind of unthicken it with the milk. Go ahead and pour a little more. There's our toast. We're going to go ahead and pour a little bit of sugar in. That should be good. Go ahead and stir that up. Put our milk up. Go ahead and put our sugar up. Gonna get our toast out. Go ahead and butter that for you guys.
Is this a pretty healthy meal?
Yeah, it's pretty healthy. It has a lot of iron and calcium in it, which is pretty good for you.
And I assume that you can use the low-calorie sweeteners instead
Yeah.
of sugar if you're watching your calories.
If you wanted to save some calories, you don't have to put any sugar in it at all. If you don't want to, it just makes it taste a whole lot better. So, we got our piece of toast buttered. I'm going to go ahead and put our butter up. Alright, looks like we're all ready to enjoy our cream of wheat. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed.